Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
You're watching Disruptive Investing, and what we've got now is some breaking news from EnergyX. That's the company that you and I went down and visited in Austin, Texas.
They refine lithium.
Yes, they refine lithium in a different way than most do. It's done from the brine, not from the hard rock, and they just have some big news. We just talked to the CEO, Teague, Egan, and let's show you what we learned. So first, just explain to me, idiot that I am, what just happened.
EnergyX just acquired 35,000 acres of lithium mineral rights in the Smackover Formation, which is a geological formation across Texas and Arkansas that is one of the best, if not the best, lithium deposits in the United States.
That's exciting. Okay, so you must be pretty secure in what you're doing that you now want to go get a place that has the lithium. Like, because before we've been talking about and visiting you, and you've been telling us about your procedures for extracting the lithium, but now you not only want to do that, but you want the place that has the lithium. Like, that makes me excited as an investor.
Exactly. So we spent the first 5 years of the company developing the actual technology that extracts and refines the lithium. And our original goal or mission was to license that technology or sell technology to existing other resource owners. That's when, a lot of the people such as yourselves invested back in 2021. That was the goal of the company. But when we realized that we actually had the best extraction technology by far, we said we might as well vertically integrate and go acquire our own lithium resources that we can implement our own technology into. So we went out and did that in 2023 with our first asset, which was in Chile. We acquired 100,000 acres down there, but we felt that it was prudent to diversify and have a resource in North America. So last year we acquired 12,500 acres in the Smackover, but this is, a really meaningful acquisition of an additional 35,000 acres that brings us up to that 50,000 acre threshold to build a really sizable project.
Talk to me about this acreage. I mean, I think that a lot of people, when they think acres, they're thinking of, land for building houses or a theme park. I'm assuming there's not going to be EnergyX land quite yet. But anyway, this is for mineral rights. So it's not like you're just going to be building, a big compound, although it sounds like that could be fun. So this is essentially for the mineral rights of that region. And it's specifically for lithium, or if there was oil there, you could drill for it too.
Great question. So when we first acquired the initial 12,500 acres of mineral rights, we also acquired an option on 330 acres of surface. So they do separate surface from mineral, but we have 330 acres where we'll actually build like a mega refinery that extracts and refines the lithium. This one was an additional 35,000 acres of just mineral rights, so below surface. And we'll drill wells all over to bring up the feed brine that has the low concentrations of lithium. We will either pipe that to the mega refinery or do some initial extraction on site to concentrate it up a little bit, and then send it to the mega refinery. You kind of do one well every 1,000 acres or so, because you don't want to, you can't put wells right next to each other because it's all sucking from the same reservoir. And then we'll re-inject it in a similar area. As far as the other stuff like oil and gas, these are just brine and mineral rights that we have. So we're actively trying to move away from oil and gas. That's the whole purpose of EnergyX.
But even if you found gold, you'd have to leave it in the ground.
Yeah, gold is not really found. Well, yeah, gold is not found in brine. That's found in hard rock. But we have all lithium and all the other minerals that could be dissolved into brine, such as bromine, potassium, etc.
Cool. Now, the big, beautiful bill that just became law, this is actually perfect for that because it gave all these advantages to companies that use basically your lithium versus lithium from another country. So can you talk to us about that? Is this kind of even better class of lithium?
So the big, beautiful bill has provisions that actually increased what was originally sought after for critical minerals, which is of course exciting for us. Now there's, lots of stuff in the big, beautiful bill that I do not agree with. Let me just preface by saying that. But, in all bills, there's good things and bad things for everybody, and everybody has an opinion on everything. I think that the really good thing about the IRA, which is obviously the prior administration's big piece of legislation, was funding a lot of energy transition initiatives. And that was a real kind of booster behind it. Where that lacked was regulation. And it was really, even though money was going into it, it was hard to get the permitting to actually move those projects forward. With the Trump administration, we've already seen initiatives like Fast 41 that is super expedited permitting of these big projects that have the funding, but can't get through all the red tape and bureaucracy that comes along with government. So A, a lot of fast tracking on permitting is underway. And B, in terms of the big, beautiful bill, it's actually good for critical minerals as opposed to maybe some of the other clean energy initiatives that were under the IRA.
How soon will you know how lucrative these fields are in terms of the amount of lithium you can get out? I know you must have done some test wells and stuff like that, but do you have any sense of what you're going to get out of it now, or is it going to be a while before you'll kind of know the real number?
We have a pretty good idea. Of course, at the end of the day, you have to drill the wells, and not only exploration wells, but actual production wells, to get a resource estimate and then turn that resource estimate into a resource reserve. The good thing is that there are tons of wells from oil and gas exploration already, and we are literally adjacent to Exxon and Chevron, who have acquired a lot of acreage around us. Exxon has over 100,000, Chevron has about 100,000. We're at 50,000. Standard Lithium, we're right there in the fairway next to all these other companies that are exploring for lithium. So we know that it's a really lithium-rich deposit.
Nice.
And how long do you think before you're going to be actually producing battery-grade lithium out of the Smackover region?
Commercially, our goal is 2028. Today, we actually already are producing battery-grade lithium at our pilot plant in Austin, Texas. So we're bringing in brine from some of the test wells in the region down here to Austin, Texas, running it through our fully integrated pilot plant, and producing battery-grade lithium that's actually been sent out and qualified now by multiple cathode producers. The next step for us is building a larger demonstration plant, which is well underway. It's basically under construction. Most of the large, long lead time equipment pieces have already arrived, and we need to commission that, which will happen before the end of the year. That's about 50 times the size of the pilot plant here in Austin. And so the reason it's actually up in Northeast Texas is because the volumes of brine running through that are too large to bring down to Austin on a daily basis. So it needs to be co-located. Upon validation of that, make sure that everything's running smoothly on basically an industrial grade level, then we would move to the first train of the commercial plant, which would be targeted 12,500 tons by 2028. And then we would look to add on 3 more trains of 12,500 each to hit 50,000 tons by 2030.
Now, Jesse and I have become shareholders in EnergyX, and I wonder if people watching now are interested and they're like, wait, guys, what's going on? Is there any chance that they can get in on like a crowdfund that's coming up or anything like that?
Yeah, so you guys were pretty smart. You invested, I think, 4 years ago now, something, I think 4 years ago, back in 2021. And we've hit, tons of milestones over those 4 years, enough such that our share price, you guys have a 25x return on that investment. On paper still, on paper. And we actually recently opened a new round of investing, and interested investors can buy shares for $10 per share right now. So anybody can go to EnergyX.com. There's a little invest button up in the top right. We actually have to file all of our filings with the SEC So it's a regulated type of investment, but any investor can invest, either accredited or non-accredited.
Nice.
I would encourage people to read through the disclosures that we make in reference to, the riskiness of the investment. But, like you can see from this acquisition that we just made, EnergyX is making really, really good progress towards building large commercial plants that will do lots of revenue. So yeah, it's an exciting time right now.
I think the biggest question is, have you been in a Robotaxi yet? Because we know you're in Austin. So, I mean, have you been able to get in one?
I have not. I actually was out of town the past 2 weeks when they launched, and but I do have Teslas that are full self-driving, so I'm doing that. But I can't wait for my first Robotaxi to pick me up.
That's going to be awesome, and I can't wait till the first Robotaxi has some EnergyX Lithium in it. That's going to be really sweet.
Yep, that's going to be a big moment.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Teague, for giving us this update. And again, if people are interested, then go to energyx.com and find out more about the company. And you can watch our videos that we've had in the past where we've been down there to Austin, checked out the whole operation. We explain it all to you, hopefully understandably.
I even tasted some of your brine. I mean, so we got in there. We know everything there is to know about it. That shit's salty.
We got to get you guys back here. We opened up a new 40,000 square foot facility that has a much bigger pilot plant. So next time you guys are in Austin, we'll do an update tour.
Definitely.
Awesome.
We'll Robotaxi over there.
All right.
Zach, Jesse, good to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you have questions, please put them down in the comments below. And if you have questions specifically about EnergyX, head on over to energyx.com. It's great that it's not just for accredited investors, that basically EnergyX is not only letting the big guys invest, but also letting us little guys invest. And like Teague mentioned, we are early investors, so take that for what it's worth. But we're really happy so far with the company and the way it's going. And this is just more great news for us. So make sure to go check that out.
Also, check out our video where we went down and visited their operations. We explained their whole process just in case you needed a bit of a refresher, because lithium refining is not the simplest thing in the world.
Right.
So we've got a whole video on that on Disruptive Investing. You can watch the shorter one over on Now You Know. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you guys next time on Disruptive Investing.